on the lanes and you're smoking like a train and you know that this could be your lucky day. Let's go bowling. Let's go bowling. Let's go bowling. Let's go bowling. Take it away. Let's go bowling. Let's go bowling. Take it away.
Let's Go Bowling, brought to you by True Value Hardware. More than just a name, it's their way of doing business.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Let's Go Bowling. I'm your host, Hub Burton, coming to you from our Candlepin home in Southampton, Massachusetts, Canal Lanes. We are in the second week of a very exciting 12-week series of men's scratch division matches, and there are lots of extra incentives built into it. Throughout the course of the show, we will catch you up, but some of the things you do need to know at the top are pinfall format is still in effect, but now we're going an hour and we will be including 3 full games. So 3 full games for our bowlers to get their games together and go after increased prize money, increased incentives, and throughout the course of the show, as I mentioned, we'll go ahead and detail those for you so that you can get an idea. Suffice to say, 3 consecutive marks, $25, and then for each additional consecutive mark after that, $25 more. There's a special bonus for anyone who can put together 3 consecutive strikes, and don't sit there and say it can't be done, because just last week Jimmy Orlandi went ahead and put together 3 consecutive strikes and went home with some money. Now, there was one other thing we needed to tell you about, and that is there is a home participation segment. And very briefly, what that is, you bowlers at home who are interested in cheering along our bowlers and participating can go ahead and send in a card. We'll match you with a bowler. Win or lose, you come out a winner. We'll give you the details about that a little bit later on. Right now, let's get to the action, and before we waste any more time, let's talk about the competitors, and we've got some outstanding ones. First of all, our challenger going up against our defending champion. Our challenger's Bob Brouillette out of Canal Lanes, and going up against Jimmy Orlandi from the Holyoke Bowlodrome. We'll be back with the first 4 frames of Game 1 right after this.
Jeep Cherokee has just been reborn. It can now be ordered with a 4-liter, 6-cylinder, 173-horsepower engine. Nothing in Cherokee's class even comes close. In fact, with this engine and a choice of 2 or 4 doors and 2 shift-on-the-fly 4-wheel drive systems, you could say nothing's in Cherokee's class.
For a limited time, get the lowest finance rates ever now on selected leftover Jeeps.
This man will do absolutely anything to find out the real facts for you. He's consumer expert David Horowitz. Fight Back with David Horowitz puts the spotlight on products that claim to be the best. Will that deadbolt block stand up to enormous pressure? Find out on Fight Back with David Horowitz.
Remember what I always say, stay aware and informed, and fight back, and don't let anyone rip you off.
Fight Back with David Horowitz, Saturday at 7:30 p.m. on TV 40.
Certs knows everybody has a style of their own. So the next time you're out to say something about yourself, remember this. And so does the great taste of Certs with Retsin.
If you can show me a penny, I'll show you how to turn it into a TV. Like magic. Just bring any penny into Rent-A-Center during Magic Penny Days, and it gets you your first week's rent on anything in the store. And that includes our full line of TVs, from this 20-inch RCA portable for just $12.99 a week, up to this 25-inch Zenith console with stereo sound, remote control, and swivel base for only $18.99 a week. Turn 1 cent into a full week's rent. Right now during Rent-A-Center's Magic Penny Days.
And starting us off this afternoon on what is the second edition of 12 special editions of Let's Go Bowling, Bob Brouillette. And Bob making his 4th appearance on Let's Go Bowling. And I think Bob would be and is pleasantly surprised at the changing face of Let's Go Bowling as he comes back for this series. The ball didn't get down very quickly, but it made it in time for the lob line. And he has a chance to go ahead and pick up the 10. I think what Bob is encountering is a newer, more exciting version, and that ball doesn't get down very quickly either. He's on the ragged edge there. It's an edition of Let's Go Bowling that includes some special incentives, the likes of which I don't think we've seen in Western Massachusetts for quite a while, if ever. And that is $200 to the winner, $100 to the loser. Anyone putting together 3 consecutive strikes, as our lob line judge, Joan Yelmokowski, takes care of that wayward pin. Triple strike worth $100. 3 marks, that's 25, and then for each additional consecutive, 25 more. 6 pins for Bob. We have the jackpot shot at the end of the show. We'll get to that. The black and white TV for the high single. I think Jimmy Orlandi's in line for that right now. I think he had a 153 in the first week. The shirts that our bowlers are wearing are theirs to keep. Nice memento of their visit with Let's Go Bowling. And anybody with a 400 series or better, $50. That doesn't hang on. So, my oh my, by the time you calculate what some of these bowlers can put together, Jimmy Orlandi walked away with, I believe, $350 last week.
That's right, and he's guaranteed at least 100 here for today. So,
well, you get the idea. The stakes have gone up considerably, and as you mentioned, as part and parcel to that, to ensure the fairest and most expert conditions, Frankie Montagna from downtown Lanes acting as our referee today. And the Whirlybird pin just misses the 10.
he actually pulled that back. He didn't throw that straight across. It actually came back towards us out here.
Bob Brouillette had 19 pins through his first 2 frames, and Jim Orlandi starts out with a 10. We're even after 1 frame, but keep in mind, we've got 3 full games. And over the course of 3 full games, last week, Jim Orlandi got it done.
I think we started with an 89 and a 94 opening games last week, so everybody probably said, what kind of bowling is this? In the second game, everything just broke loose out there. 4 marks in a row, triple strike.
How can you do that and miss? I mean, right there we have a pin merging with
you see the head pin. Right, you see the head pin going right around the right-hand side of the 10 pin out there.
It doesn't survive the 3rd ball, and Jim Orlandi with a 1-pin lead through 2, a 10 and a 10. And as we mentioned last week, he is a firm believer in pinning, which is taking what's left and putting it in the pit. Bob can't buy the 10 pin.
Jimmy, again, as Hub mentioned out here now, you'll notice he always racks up those 10 boxes, 10 boxes, 10 boxes, 9 boxes. Very, very seldom will you see an 8 box or a 7 box out of Jimmy Orlandi. Now that counts. That's good. That's not a lob. That's not a lob. See what the ball actually hit here on the approach, and that's fair contact. Fair contact is anywhere, including the approach and the lane itself. That's what they call a skip lob.
Which is it touches down, but with the force with which it touches down then clears that lob line.
That's exactly right. We've seen some go all the way down. How you hold your breath, you think you're going right through the mask and you went down there. Bobby, nice
Bob Brouillette.
And skip lob to a strike.
Out of Canal Lanes, good shot of Bob on the approach, and that approach yields the strike. We're coming up on our first break. We'll take a breather at the end of 4 frames. And as you mentioned last week, Jess Heisler got Jim Orlandi's attention in game 2 with...
He threw those 4 marks
in a row. He threw those 4 marks in a row, and all of a sudden Jim Orlandi decided, and he mentioned it to us after the game, decided he better get going and talk about igniting.
Jimmy said 3 spare shots in a row over here up. He's left the 10-pin clean twice and the 7-pin one, so he's on his game. He's not missing by much.
Tough one for a lefty, and he didn't quite stay close enough to the channel to pick up the 7. So a 1-pin lead for Jim Orlandi through 3, but now as we come up towards our first break, he's got a challenge, and that's to answer the strike by Bob Brouillette.
We'd love to see a picture of that still shot. They had a Bobby Brouillette down there showing his motion, his delivery, and everything else, and that was a strike. That's
down on the lane.
That's a classic.
He's not going to match it. He's going to have to accept a spare at best, and this is not an easy attempt.
He's got the 1-2-10 here.
And he flew a pin to the front and to the back of the 10. Didn't pick it up.
Kenny's left the 10-pin 3 times, 7-pin once.
Lots of time to consider the shots, and that's another benefit of the 3-game hour format. You have a chance to take your time. It pays off for Jim Orlandi, who puts up another 10 box, but as we reach the first turn, Bob Brouillette giving him all he wants. We'll be right back after this.
The French King Bowling Center in Irving is right on scenic Route 2, 8 miles east of Greenfield. Owner Ralph Sem boasts of the center as the showplace of the Northeast with its 24 lanes and 2 lounges. Presently, active league bowlers include juniors and seniors, men's, women's, and mixed. Daytime league openings are available for women's leagues, and a disc jockey provides musical entertainment for open bowlers every Saturday night. If you're ever out Irving way, be sure to visit Ralph Sem at French King Bowling Center, 8 miles east of Greenfield on scenic Route 2.
This is Jeep's all-new 4-liter 6-cylinder engine. It has sequential multi-point electronic fuel injection. It puts out 173 horsepower and 220 foot-pounds of torque. But most important, if you put this new engine in a Jeep Cherokee or a Jeep Comanche, you're going to see more speed and power than you've ever seen from vehicles like this. Just remember where you saw it first.
For a limited time, get the lowest finance rates ever now on selected leftover Jeeps.
It's Rascals, the candy that breaks the rules. Rascals defy the ordinary with 6 far-out fruit flavors in each bag, like Gonzo Grape, and Fiji Fruit. Rascals fly in the face of convention by giving you so much to chew.
Well, I'll try anything once.
Rascals, they break the rules. Break the rules.
This is Governor Mike Dukakis. The Boston Celtics and I are teaming up with thousands of young people like these to fight against drug and alcohol abuse. The Celtics know that winning world championships takes alert minds and strong bodies, the same things you need to be a champion in everyday life. Remember, you're a winner when you join our team by saying no to drugs and alcohol.
Come on, take the Celtics challenge.
And stand tall against drugs.
Bob Brouillette, our challenger, working on the fill for a strike he put up in the 4th frame. All of those are coming back.
Yeah, that's a lot of them.
All 8 are coming back, and
It's a lot. The thing that hurts on that really is his first ball and his strike fill.
And I'm not sure whether he's shaking his head because he realizes what he just surrendered in trying to fill up the striker. You know, sometimes bowlers don't necessarily agree with lob line judge either.
Usually they know if it's going out there, Hub. Yeah, it's
that's
one.
way out there.
Yeah.
2 lobs in a row.
This again, you know, in supporting Bobby Brouillette out here now, again, he's bowling for pretty big money out here. They realize that it's quite a change from the other format. He's got a lot of time to sit down and think this game over. He just wants to get this ball down on the approach now. There it is.
Got it down quickly.
That's
I'll tell you, all things considered, a 7 out of that.
That's a good out. That's an excellent out of him. Right.
Boy, let Jim off the hook, though.
Jimmy's the first guy to support him out there. Jimmy can remember his first and second appearance on television out here. This is Bobby's. This is his 4th appearance, but his first real appearance where he's bowling for, you know, this amount of money. So I'm sure he'll come back.
That ball is down on lane 13 and headed for 5 pins.
But if you notice on that still shot that Jay just showed us out here now, his knee was not bent in comparison to that strike ball, that strike frame that he had. See how his left knee is straight up? See, he's coming up. That's all he's got to do.
Another lob, that pin will come back.
Right.
3 lobs in the last 4 balls.
Somebody's trying to tell him to stay down. That's all he's got to do. Just get down. There you go. Stay down.
7, 2 7 boxes. Jim Orlandi with the door open. He trailed.
Yeah. Jimmy's out here now.
Pin through 4.
Jimmy's out here saying, I'm going to put this ball way down now. I don't want to get caught in head syndrome.
And does nothing with the first ball. Boy, did he dodge a bullet with that basic no fill for the strike because of the lobs.
Yeah.
2 pins left, the 1 and the 7. And he's got a pin to the right.
There's Jimmy down a nice thing. See how square? His shoulders are almost a T. That's a beautiful shot. They're not right there left. They're actually square to the lanes, right to the approach. It's a beautiful shot.
Gives himself the maximum chance for success. 8 box. A little uncharacteristic now. A 2-pin lead through 5 for Jim Orlandi. And all things considered, in good shape. Head pin. No.
There he goes. The same thing he almost did last week against Jess High. So he's got to jump back off the approach to pull that 5-pin down.
5-pin tantalizingly wobbling at the end of 13. Gets it.
Right, he didn't miss a single last week. He's starting off in the same conditions now. He's right on those single pins.
And a little bit more in control of this first game. Last week, just the 94 pins. Did it with, I believe, a couple 6 boxes late in the first game. That pin's history is Bob Brouillette gets the ball down and has the good count. Now he's got just the 10 pin.
Yeah, he's got the 10 pin down here, but we got an interesting shot with the wood down here. He's going to make up his mind to go left or right. I think he's going to stay on the right-hand side of the lane.
Didn't hang on.
No, I see. He wanted to, yeah, he didn't want to go that far right. Again, if you want to miss that shot, Hub, you want to miss it on the left. You don't want the ball to fall into the channel for you.
That's right, because going left, you might get a break. And so a 9.
But you can see, again, his problem only is in his approach out here, Hub. See, he's not balanced when he's letting the ball go, going back into that 4th frame when he threw the strike. He had his balance and everything else. He's just got to regain that. He'll come back.
61 pins through 7. Nope. Lob.
It's another lob.
And that takes away 9 big pins, too.
And 9 and a spare leave. Bob, again, it's so important, balance. People talk about some things that are important. My own thing is your timing and your balance is one of the keys to a successful bowler. He's got to be balanced, and he's got to stay down.
Still got 7 pins, boy. Sure. I'll tell you, he's hanging in there.
Sure he is, yo. Bobby's a good bowler. What's he averaging out here, Hub, now?
Bob averages 117 pins.
117 pins, so we've got a lot to hear from Bob Brouillette out here.
Joan going to take out one of those pins that's come back up and navigated over that 3/4 inch drop.
Right, we can mention that all of our bowlers, all our league bowlers are eligible to try out for this TV show. All they got to do is let their operators know that they want to qualify for the TV show, turn their 3 scores in. Every week we have tournaments that determine the qualifying bowlers. So the male bowlers in the Western New England Candlepin Association lanes, get hold of your operator, find out how you can get on this show. It's open to everybody.
That pin in play. And he picks off the 9 and takes an 8. 69 through 8. So some lob problems have Bob Brouillette facing some real trouble from Jim Orlandi. Jim with a 2-pin lead through 5, and he's building on a spare in the 6th. And he's building with 8 pins going into that box.
He wants that piece of wood to come back out in the lane out here.
Up by 13 through 6, he's taking control, but unfortunately for Bob, it's been difficult to give ground in the manner that he has, and that's with the lob problem. Didn't touch off the pin he wanted.
Get the right shot, and he shoved his shoulders there, and that's 7-8 out here. And the only way he could possibly make the shot is to get that piece of wood to move for him. Now, see, that's not like Jimmy. Now, we had mentioned how he pins. He doesn't want to sit back too easy. You can remember what happened to Jess Heisler Hub last week. Remember, he threw those 4 marks in a row, so he can swing this 12-pin lead right back into a 12-pin reversal.
Bowling in the 8th. And I believe that's the 6-pin.
Sure is. It's liable not to be there any longer. It's gone. There goes down and bang.
Does it have enough?
Sure
Yes,
it does. Sure it does. Look at that. Saved Joan a trip down there.
That's right. Big mark for Jim Orlandi. It's his 2nd mark of the match. His first a spare in the 6th, now a strike in the 8th. And it gets tougher for Bob. Well, good pin count. 3-6. Coming up towards the end of game 1.
This is a big mark for Bobby out here now.
Trails by 12 through 7. He got 1. He did not get the 3. He's had a lot of spare opportunities. He has just the 1 mark, a strike in the 4th. And he gets it. That's a real confidence builder for him to be able to get that ball down on the lane and pick up the single pin. Bob's average, as we mentioned, 117, so he'll struggle in well off of that pace, but we've got 3 games. Bookends, 7-10.
He's got some wood out here, Hub, though. He's got a shot at this out here. This pin is coming out far enough out to the front out here where if he goes down on the right-hand side of it, he's got a shot at it. He's indecisive. He just went straight down the pipe.
Still has the 2 pins guarding either flank, the 7 to the left, the 10 to the right. And you uses the pins to take out the 7. Ends up at 88. 1 pin off the total of Jess Heisler. But take heart, because Jess came back and actually led by 2 pins in the second game.
Exactly. He threw those 4 marks in a row right in the middle 4 frames out there. So again, Jimmy doesn't want to become too complacent about this. He's
6 pins on the first ball, filling up a strike from the 8th. Straight back through the head pin. 3 still standing. You should note this is Jim's 25th appearance on the show, and you would remark that last week, him starting out our 12-week series of Scratch Division matches, I believe, was the 4th time he had started out a new segment.
You're right. He was the pioneer of the first Let's Go Bowling show. He was the first man on the men's handicap division. He was also the first man to appear in the men's scratch division. And again, he's 3 out of 4. He won his first match in 3 of those. One he got beat in. This is the handicap division.
And Jim Orlandi comes home. Almost. He's still got to fill up the spare. Checks the scoreboard very quickly. He's already
107 plus.
Got an 18-pin lead through 9. And 5 pins. So that puts him at 112, and he has a decisive 24-pin lead as we make the turn, and we'll be back after this tour of an outstanding Western New England Candlepin Association facility.
Driving that Hyundai, huh, big guy?
Yep.
Did you notice the machine I bought?
No.
Oh, man. I'm talking sexy. I mean, fight off the female sexy car.
Where is it? Oh, it's in the shop right now.
Oh. The Hyundai Excel isn't built to impress the neighbors. It's built to impress its owners.
We'll be heading downtown, huh, big guy?
The dependable Excel from Hyundai. Cars that make sense.
It's a dazzling salute to Hollywood when Ice Capades returns to the Springfield Civic Center October 14th through the 18th. Your family will enjoy champion skaters, lavish production numbers, and the Smurfs, live and in person. What's more, we invite you to join us Sunday, October 18th at 6 p.m. when you'll save $2 on your Ice Capades tickets, courtesy of McDonald's and Channel 40. A portion of your ticket price will benefit the Ronald McDonald House of Springfield. That's 6 p.m. Sunday, October 18th at the all-new Ice Capades.
The fun, the excitement, the spirit of an autumn tradition continues as ABC Sports reaches new heights in college football this season, showcasing the classic rivalry and the power teams of the Big Ten, along with the speed and thrills of the top teams in the Pac-10. 2 of the best as ABC Sports brings you the finest in college football.
Everybody have fun right here on WGGB Television, Channel 40, Springfield.
If you love Oldsmobiles, then act now, because after Sunday, it's all over. Your last chance to get Tom's Oldsmobiles final bargain prices on hundreds of leftover new and demo Oldsmobile Cutlass Supremes, Sierras, Toronados, Calais, everything. Last chance clearance discounts of $3,000, $4,000, and $6,000 while they last. Plus your last chance also to get GM's record low 1.9% financing. It's a leftover sellout sellathon Oldsmobile and Chevrolet lovers will really love. Now through Sunday, only at Tom's Oldsmobile and Belize Chevrolet in Springfield. It's your last chance, so hurry.
The turn with defending champion Jim Orlandi in control of this match, leading by 24 pins. Just joined us, some real lob problems for challenger Bob Brouillette out of Canal Lanes. And that's the difference, nothing more. Jim put a couple of marks up, but really surrendering that ground gave him the opening. Now he took a shot at the 6 and the 10. While we have a moment here early in game number 2, I'd like to tell you about our home viewer participation format. Now what this is, and I think it's exciting, I think it expands the interest of the show and gives you a chance to participate at home. beginning next week, we will draw 2 cards at the beginning of the show with the name and address of a home viewer who wishes to participate. And what that viewer will then do is be paired with either our defending champion or our challenger. And then you, along with the bowler, get to compete, because if you happen to be paired with the winning bowler, you'll win a gift certificate good from $20 to $25. And if that bowler goes on to take home the cash, you go home and take home the gift certificate. And then if you happen to be unfortunate enough to be paired with the loser, you're still a winner, because you'll get a free day of bowling at your home lane. So either way, you're going to come out a winner. Now, here's what you do to participate. What you need to do is send a postcard with your name and address to Let's Go Bowling, care of WGGB-TV, Post Office Box 40, Springfield, Massachusetts. Go ahead, participate. We'll start to build the entries. We'll get that fish bowl overflowing, and we'll draw the names out beginning next week and incorporate you viewers at home as part of our competition here on Let's Go Bowling. Should be exciting. I'm looking forward to that.
I get my card in the mail tomorrow, huh?
Void where prohibited. No. We want to invite you to go ahead and send in. Now, can they send in more than one?
Yes, you can. You can just send in as many cards as you want. This is open to any kind of bowler, 10-pin bowlers, anything else. We want everybody, every bowling enthusiast to be part of this new Let's Go Bowling show.
All right. And we've got 12 weeks, a total of 12 weeks of this format. So go ahead and start sending in those cards, and please make it legible and make it easier on me.
Yeah. And no business envelopes or anything
That's
like that.
right.
We've got to get back down to business down here now.
No
Bobby
manila
Brouillette's
folders.
really got a pin out here. That's the first good sign we saw out here now. Bobby was really thinking about, should I go for the 3 or should I go for the 2? Let's be a realist. I go for the 2 and get myself on my game.
Trails by 1 in this game, trails by 25 in the match. Jim Orlandi, once you give him the opening, give him the lead. He's awfully tough, because he's been around long enough to know any opening is one too many.
It almost seems like Jimmy is doing the same thing this week that he did last week against Chest Heisel. He looks like he's put just a little bit more on the ball and his second string out here now, and he's mixing them.
He's got a boom of...
He's got a ton of lumber down here, but he wants to be careful. He wants to go down the left-hand side of the lane.
He wobbles and gets it.
Like I said, he's going to go down the right-hand side of the lane. Right.
Just like you drew it on the board, Charles. Well, Jim was nothing if not independent.
Yeah, Jimmy.
That's a big mark, because he's trying to hike it out to the kind of lead where he can maybe encounter a tough frame and get away with it.
You're right. If you recall the first 4 frames in the first game, he left the corner pins in the opening 4 frames, so he deserves a few marks out here now.
For the spare? Yes.
There it is. Great
He
shot.
caught it on the way back out. He didn't get it the first go-round, the 10, but he clipped it on the way back out.
I'd love to see that head pin wrapped right around the 10 pin.
2 consecutive spares. Bob Brouillette. It's got to be now. It really does. He's got to stride out.
Keep it down. Nice.
Spread eagle plus the 8.
It's a tough break, but he kept the ball down, Hub, which was good, because Jimmy's got the 2 marks in a row, so Bobby really didn't get nervous. I figured he was going to lob that time or never lob again. Good ball.
Much better.
Nice ball.
That had every reason to almost take everything.
Nice ball.
Pin headed to take out the 4, so now he has just the 2 and the 7 to come back from a spread eagle plus a pin. Didn't touch it off. 8. Now gives ground to the tune of 10 more pins and trails by 34 in the match. We're coming up on another break. As soon as Bob rolls out on lane 13 in the 4th frame, we'll take 5. And
good shot.
Doesn't quite buy the spare. That would have been a tremendous out. With a 10, he'd hike it to 36. Does, locks it in, so Bob Brouillette picks up the 10 box, and we'll be back to see how things unravel in the second half of game 2 right after this.
Betty, what's new?
Well, it surprised me, knocked me out with coconut, but surprised me, showed me how you really do it up. You sweet talker, Betty Crocker. Craze and amaze me. Lead me down your rocky road. You sweet talker, Betty Crocker. Take me over the rainbow. Just when I thought I'd seen it all, look what you go and do. Betty Crocker, you sweet talker, you.
One more good reason why you should turn to Newswatch 40 at 5:30, 6, and 11.
I'm consumer reporter Ruth Susswine. There are more products for even more consumers in the marketplace these days. It takes a well-educated consumer to get the best buys without getting ripped off. That's why you should turn to My Consumer Reports each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 on Newswatch 40. I'll help you save time and money. Consumer Reports on Newswatch 40. Join me, won't you?
Ruth Susswine, Consumer Reports on Newswatch 40 at 6.
Hollywood thrives on rumors, no matter who they hurt. The rumors about AIDS are hurting all of us. People are getting their information from the wrong sources and believing it. Right now, there's a rumor about donating blood. The fact of the matter is, you cannot get AIDS from giving blood. All the needles are sterile and disposable. So please, don't fall for rumors. Find out the facts.
Rumors are spreading faster than AIDS. For more information, write the American Red Cross.
If you've shopped for family cars, you've probably checked out Toyota Camry and Honda Accord. But your shopping list isn't complete until you've added this new Mazda 626. It has more interior room, more luxury features, and more standard equipment. And beats Camry and Accord by hundreds. You've just got to drive it. Once you do, I'm positive you'll be putting the 626 at the top of your list.
A better family car value comes from our intense commitment to your total satisfaction. That's the Mazda way.
Jim Orlandi, the champion, and playing like a champion, puts up a 112, a little bit off his average. Spread eagle, and he loses one. He loses the 10 pin. He didn't wow anybody in game number one, but neither did he give Bob Brouillette a lot of opportunity to rebound from some difficulties that he had with the lop line.
Bobby's kept the ball down his first 4 frames out here, Hub, so now all he needs is a mark or two. That's more like Jimmy.
With a 9. Hikes his total to 60 pins. While we have a moment, I'd like to remind you, stick around, because at the end of this match, win, lose, or draw, both of our bowlers are going to get an opportunity to go after something which is pretty exciting, our jackpot shot. And our jackpot shot for the right-handers, the 6-7. For the lefty, it's the 4-10. Now, we started out last week with Jess Heisler and Jim Orlandi shooting at that for a total of $50. Neither one could convert, although Jim took a pretty good run at it.
Check your ID. Get one of them.
Took a good run at that 4-10. But now we're going to add $25 more. It's going to be worth $75 this week, so that should be exciting.
That's it. It's going to be at the end of the show. It's something different. It's a makeable shot. Both bowlers today agreed.
Good first ball by Bob Brouillette, and he has everything but the 10. He's starting to get it dialed in.
Yeah, but see, again, things aren't really going for Bobby now. That wood was locked right up against the 10 pin, and now it decides to come all the way out. Now, see, now, what was an easy shot, now he's got to make up his mind. Does he want to try to ride the rail and go down at the 10 pin, or is he going to play the wood? The wood actually is a bad shot here. It's about 2 feet out away from that pin. You never know what it's going to do. I say you should go down right at the pin.
Didn't get it. Oh, my.
That's again. But see, again, when things go wrong, they go wrong, Hub. That wood was actually almost frozen up agast that pin. It was a lock. And all of a sudden, it pulled its way all the way back out.
Got
There's
it out
the shot he
and
wanted.
took care of it. That ball was good. But through 4, Bob's down 16 in this game and 40 in the match. And still down 40 in the match. Beg pardon, 30 in the match. $30 pins is a lot to make up. It's getting late. He's got to get it going.
He's got to come in. Bobby's got to concentrate. You know, we have a lot of well-wishers here with him and everything else, but sometimes that's, you know, works to your disadvantage. You're distracted a little bit.
In a row.
That's what he wants. Beautiful.
Bob Brouillette with a good spare. His first mark of this second game. Not taking anything away from our champ. He hasn't lit it up. He hasn't pulled away and taken maximum opportunity.
He's staying right.
6.
7.
Last week, Jimmy got a strike. He just outweighted him.
He jumped off the approach and pulled a 5-pin with him is what he did. That's a great effort. It's a great effort.
The thing about Jim Orlandi, which is so impressive, and we've talked about this, is that he'll take a look at a shot that perhaps a less experienced bowler will scope out, and he'll have the experience to know that you sometimes have to take the long way around to get it done.
That's exactly right. He actually pulled that pin back again. When he's missed the shots, he's overcut them.
2 pins, the 4 and the 7, one rolling around, and that's why Jimmy's waiting. And kicks the 4 off the sideboard into the 7. Talk about a veteran. We're bowling late in game 2. Jim Orlandi, a comfortable lead. A chance to hike his total winnings significantly. Last week, $350. Should he win today, he'd be coming up on $500,000.
It didn't take you long to get up to 4 figures in this, and you can stay out here a couple of weeks.
And let's not forget the black and white TV under his. It's almost like concentration with Hugh Downs giving you gifts. You know, he's got the TV, he's got the 3 strikes.
That's right. Jimmy Orlandi, he needs a TV like I need a hole in it. He's got about 6 of them all around the house.
You know, there's such a fine line watching Bob bowl for every bowler between getting the ball out as you want to and trifling and tempting that lob.
Right. See, the ideal ball will land 18 to 24 inches beyond the foul line. That's where you want the ball to land. You don't want it to land at 2
how
feet.
far out?
It's 10 feet out. So he's really got to lob that ball to get it out there. But again, it's all in the approach. See, if you stay down, you're not going to lob the ball. It's coming up that causes.
Oh, sweet shot. Bob with a sweet shot for the pickup. Unfortunately, he was a ball late to get a mark, but that's still, even a 10 can sometimes help restore confidence.
He's not bowling that bad. He's got 3 10s and a spare in his last 4 frames out here.
He's chopped it down a little bit in the last couple of frames, too. He's got the 4 horsemen plus the 8, but he's come back now and cut the lead in half in this game to trail by only 8.
Jimmy, they're only a couple of marks apart out here now. This isn't home by far.
Oh, the 4 horsemen plus the 8. That's a
good
great
shot.
pickup.
There's the head pin going right up, but they've taken out that 10 pin
and
out
the 10
there.
really wanted to hang around. It's like that unwanted party guest wanted to leave late.
All right, we'll see if the golden bear out here now is going to go ahead and wake up here when he throws that shot. Now he's on it.
Spread eagle.
Jimmy almost made this shot last week, if you recall, against Jess Heisler. He took everything out except the 3 pin.
Lob.
Ooh, he sort of looked a little bit at her at Joan out there, but again, she is a caller, yeah. Jimmy usually gets down.
Now the 3 have to come back, the first 3. The second 3 will stick. And because of the lob, it's a 7 instead of a 10. And Jim, I'll tell you, it's interesting to watch Jim as he changes lanes because he'll always grab that quick sidelong glance at the scoreboard.
Yeah, he's looking at it. These fellas know it by heart. They know where they are and everything else. He's looking to see, and
they also know what it takes to do what.
What Bobby had. He's leaving the door open for him out here. He's not happy with his bowling at all now.
Almost flew out the 7 pin, but you're right, Charlie. He's not strided away. He's not taken maximum advantage, and that's always dangerous.
No, not when you're bowling a fellow with 117 average. Bobby rolls his average out here now. He can really turn this thing into a real tight match.
Jim Orlandi takes home 106. That's off his game. 2-game total. 218. Bob didn't like that. A minute left.
Right, he wanted to keep it down.
Tough fill on a spare, too. He could have really done some damage. As it is, he trails by 5 in this game. 19, though. That's all. 19 in the match.
Yep.
He's come back from 30 pins down. He's chopped 11.
He's got himself back into the match.
He needs every pin. 9. So he gets 2 more.
Spare here now.
13 off.
Spare here now.
Trails by 3 in this game. 17 in the match. Slowly but surely back in contention.
Get a break out here now, and the piece of wood wrapped right around the number 2 pin out here. If he just pushes it right in, he should go. too far left.
Still has a chance for the 10, and all things considered, to come back and trail by only 17 pins would be a huge accomplishment headed for the last game. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And Bob Brouillette has climbed that mountain. He's not to the summit yet, but he's back and can see perhaps better times ahead, and we'll be back for what should be an exciting third game right after this.
It's a chance of a lifetime because Belize Chevrolet and Dom's Oldsmobile in Springfield must sell hundreds of leftover cars and trucks by 5 p.m. Sunday because the 88s are here. Your last chance to get Belize's final sellout, sell-a-thon bargain prices on hundreds of leftover Cavaliers, Monte Carlos, Caprices, Celebrities, Corsicas, Berettas, everything. Plus your last chance to get GM's record low 1.9% financing. Don't wait. Get your leftover last chance, sell-a-thon, sellout bargain prices here at Belize Chevrolet and Tom's Oldsmobile in Springfield because after September 30th, it's all over.
One taste of Raisin Nut Bran and you'll know why people prefer it 2-to-1 over Kellogg's and Post Raisin Brands. You'll kick yourself for not trying it sooner. Ow! Only Raisin Nut Bran has raisins rolled in crushed almonds, crispy flakes too. If you don't try it, you won't be able to live with yourself.
I'm leaving.
Try the best tasting Raisin Bran, Raisin Nut Bran.
True Value Hardware, it's more than a name.
Protect your family with this First Alert smoke detector. It has a handy low battery signal, comes with a 9-volt battery, and it's just $6.88 as the September hardware value. Then seal air leaks and handle repairs with Tuck duct tape. Get 2 60-yard rolls for just $4.77 as the September hardware value extra at participating True Value Hardware stores.
Just in time, the lowest finance rate ever offered by Chevrolet, 1.9%. Yes, 1.9% on thousands of leftover Chevrolet cars. Now during your Western Mass Chevrolet dealers' giant year-end clearance, already in progress. And record low 1.9% right now means very timely additional big savings of hundreds, even thousands more, making this the savingest year-end clearance in Western Mass history. If you've been waiting for a great year-end deal, be sure to see your Western Mass Chevy dealer today because no one saves you more.
Start off by correcting my own clerical error. Charlie, this modern math is killing me. I had Bob Brouillette perhaps a little farther along in the comeback trail than he actually was. He actually trails by 27 pins as we turn to game number 3, but nonetheless, I'll go ahead and stand with what I said about cutting it significantly.
That's exactly right. Actually, Jimmy had a chance to really lock in the whole match up, but 27 pins is not enough to win the match. It's a good lead, but again, it's always better to have 30 or 40 up there for you.
It's that gray area where a couple of marks can make it tight all of a sudden.
All it's got to do is throw a double in there, and that makes up 25 pins.
The ball was out in good shape. I mean, you didn't hear a sound as it hit the lane, which is what you want.
Yeah.
8.
Probably, again, this is his 4th appearance on the Let's Go Bowling show, but of course it's his first on this one over here. He bowled in the singles match only once. That's the way
he's halfway back up that comeback trail.
Again.
Everything in motion except the 4 and the 7, but they are not long for lane 13. The strike goes up in the second for Bob Brouillette. Last week, Jess Heisler left a wake-up call for Jim Orlandi and regretted ringing his room.
That's right. Jimmy's looking at the 4-5-8 down here now. He actually can make this shot. He's looking, he loves a challenging shot like this. He'll go way down the right-hand trad side and sweep it in.
Oh, he almost had enough, but he didn't quite cover the 4-pin.
Yeah, you can see that deadwood just rolling right by it down there. He didn't go down far enough. These are great shots by Jay and the camera crew out there, aren't they?
No question about it. They're dialed in out in the truck.
We're going to an hour show. We're getting all these bonus shots and everything else. So you people keep watching this show. Great things are going to happen here.
Jim doesn't quite domino all the way to the 7. He had it cooking, and the motion was correct, which is, in that situation, right to left. But he didn't cover the 7-pin.
But see, he's got some deadwood down. He's got some playable wood down here. He wants to be careful. He's got to decide which piece he wants to go at. See, he wants to see if he wants to go all the way down to the left.
What do you bet? I'm saying the other one.
Okay. Good shot. Good shot.
Left himself a little margin for error there.
Right, depending on the angle, though. See, we're looking at it from an angle over here. He's looking correctly on the pins out there. If he figures he can't get by it, he won't get by it. But a good bowler, if he can get at that pin, he's going to get at that pin.
Bob doesn't get to the head pin, also wraps it around the 10.
He's got another ball. This is a big fill, though. This is a strike. If you recall, he struck in the second string out there, but he lobbed and he lost the fill. So he's got one in there now. He's got to keep this ball down.
He does. Nudges just one pin.
You can see how his ball curved there. He actually missed the head pin. But see how he's up now? Going back to that second strike that he threw down there. Bobby should be down, a lot further down.
And almost whirly-birded over into the 10. So 31 pins through 3 for Bob Brouillette. Keep in mind, we'll be going straight on through here in Game 3. No break. Six.
Yeah, he's got the 3-pin just cracked right in between it now. All he's got to do is hit the 3-pin here and chalk it up.
Oh, tough break.
He pulled it out. He actually backlashed that 3-pin. He didn't hit the 3-pin.
10-pin remains. So the spare goes by the boards. How about the scrambling 10? Nope. Jim Orlandi, who has bowled enough to keep out in front, but has not bowled to the extent where he has put Bob Brouillette away, may have the clock and the time factor on his side.
And Jimmy's thinking payday right now.
Well, if he goes ahead and collects the 200, that'd put him at 550. And he could put together some bonus cash still. And keep in mind, we've got the that special shot in the last segment.
Bingo. All right, you're going. There he goes. Jimmy's walking to the bank here now. Yeah, sometimes you think when the bowler, like you had mentioned, one bowler's pace sets the other bowler's thing out here. Jimmy's got to go it alone out here now.
And that's tough. That's a lot tougher.
You're right.
Than responding to a Jess Heisler 4 consecutive mark run.
You're right. Look at the intensity out there. Great shot.
Check the eyes.
Great shot. Look at the eyes. That's one of the keys out here. A lot of bowlers will actually not keep their eyes on what they're actually shooting on. We can give a whole lesson in candlepin bowling out here. Once you look at those pins, you never take your eyes off them. Never take your eyes. Look at the ceiling, the floor, or anything else. Keep your eye on those pins.
That's right. Which is a touch different from 10-pin, because in 10-pin, the bowlers are so caught up with the mark they want to hit on the lane.
Exactly. Some people will actually ask us that, because we have had lanes that were converted from 10-pin lanes where they actually had the arrows. And do you use the marks for candlepin bowling? No, definitely not. Look at the pins, concentrate at them, walk at them, and reach at them.
That's your spot at the other end of the lane. And a nice shot to pick up the 7. Bob Brouillette with another mark.
I'm going to go on the limb, and I'm going to give Bobby 120 in this game out here. I say he's due.
40 pins through 4. He trails by 14 in this game, and he trails by a bundle in the match. But it's still possible to do some big things.
I get some money on here now. That's what we're hoping to see. We want more and more bowlers to participate out here and go for the 3 marks in a row. Triple strike, anything. He's still got 4 more big frames after this one.
Trails by 41 pins in the match. Oh, my.
Bobby's got a smile at that one.
It's
even
not
Jimmy's
over till it's over. 64. Charlie's going to have to hustle to get to 120. Huh?
I'm still saying it's going to do it up. I'm 120.
Jim Orlandi dials it in and puts him down. First one to congratulate him is Bob Brouillette, and that's a real credit to Bob, because on a day like today when nothing's worked, it would be easy to sulk, but he isn't.
Right. Yep. Just thinking again.
And there's a big space between those 2 pins, too. There's a lot of room between the 3 and the 10.
Yeah, see, this actually out here, how that 3 and the 10 actually stayed up that other piece of wood and bang.
He was fortunate he had a pin locked in where if he hit one, the other chain effect would take place.
Exactly. Here's where Bobby's got to go now. Everybody in the house here is rooting for Bobby to finish up strong.
Right now, Jim Orlandi on a 148 pace. Now, it's tough, obviously, to sustain that, but that would be a 153 in Game 2 last week, a 148 in Game 3 this week.
Yeah.
That's a super
Still
shot
making
by
bets on
Bobby
a 120
Brouillette.
now, Hub, or what? He's got a big fill here, and he's got it. And these good bowlers, it's like the law of averages. Like a hitter, if he goes over 10 and he's hitting, 300, he's going to pop a base hit every now and then. Get over in the corner. There you go.
You're looking better, Charlie.
Look at that. You're holding your wallet down, Hub, right? Okay.
All of a sudden, Bob Brouillette's caught fire. He puts together the spare and the strike and the 7th and 8th. That's the 4th mark he's had in this game.
Sure. He's going to be back. He'll be back. There's Jimmy. He dropped his head down there now. He's not worried about the match. He's looking $25. He said, put that ball right in there. What have I got? 7, 8, 10.
54-pin lead through 6. Oh, my. What a touch. What a touch.
Look at that. Look at that. He said, you better go down.
Looks like he had just drawn a Colt out of a holster.
Jimmy's a very somber person, if you know. It's very smiled. He had a chuckle at that one himself.
By the way, that's $25 for Jimmy, putting the 3 consecutive marks together. If he can pick up the 2-4 here, that'll be 50.
That's
the bonus cash. Got it.
He's got it. He's got it.
Mark it up, Bobby. Right up.
4 consecutive marks. And now Bob Brouillette realistically does not have a chance to win the match, but boy, he's put some shots together.
He's got him now. Keep the ball down, Bobby. Double. There you go.
Would have been exciting if he'd had the old high-low jack to shoot that down there.
Here, sure. He'd practice up for it on the other show, right?
No bonus cash for that, because we are going to be dealing with the 6, 7, and 4, 10 in just a bit.
We ought to have our viewers send in a card and think of a name.
Oh, my! Oh, super shot by Bobby Brouillette.
Are you going to pay me now or later, Hub?
We'll settle up later.
How about that, Hub? What if we run a contest to call, have our bowlers either name the 4, 10 or the 6, 7? Got to have a name for that.
Yeah, we really should put a name on that shot.
Sure. We can't keep saying those numbers. The other's the high-low jack. We got to think of what that shot was.
I'll tell you, if it keeps escaping, you might have to do the rodeo thing in Widowmaker or something like that.
There you go. Look at he's 122 already. That's all right.
What a way to rebound. Bob, as we mentioned, his average is 117. And this is his 4th appearance. Been bowling for 19 years, and, his
dad's a great bowler.
He is.
Lefty bowler, good bowler.
Jim's just a little tougher, at least on this day. $25 if he marks. That's going to be a tall order, because he's got the spread eagle just minus the 3.
Jimmy's going to try for one shot today. It's going to be this one right here.
Yep. Here goes. He's just a little bit left of where he wanted to be.
There he goes. So it's jumping up and down. There you go. Look at that.
He's throwing all the English.
Take a blow up of that and show it down at the bowling center with a little pirouette effect.
Picked it off. Jim Orlandi striding home. He's going to win this game. And under the circumstances, with Bob putting up 132, that's a testament. Got a great chance for a spare.
Hey, he can double up out here. He can beat the high single, 153, right? If he spares here and strikes, he get 154.
Got it. Bob was saying as those pins continue to fall, no luck, Jimmy, no luck.
No luck, Jimmy.
And he checks the scoreboard one last time. I'll tell you, there's something about crunch time that makes Jim Orlandi respond. And you can say that's a cliche, but for him, it's true in every sense of the word. Jim Orlandi ends up at 150. And it's not over. We'll be back for the bonus shot right after this.
Salute to Hollywood when Ice Capades returns to the Springfield Civic Center October 14th through the 18th. Your family will enjoy champion skaters, lavish production numbers, and the Smurfs, live and in person. What's more, we invite you to join us Sunday, October 18th at 6 p.m. when you'll save $2 on your Ice Capades tickets, courtesy of McDonald's and Channel 40. A portion of your ticket price will benefit the Ronald McDonald House of Springfield. That's 6 p.m. Sunday, October 18th at the all-new Ice Capades.
Watch closely because I'm going to show you how to turn a penny into a VCR. It's easy. Just bring any penny into Rent-A-Center during Magic Penny Days, and it gets you your first week's rent on anything in the store. And that includes our full line of VCRs, from this cable-ready Magnavox for just $12.99 a week, up to this RCA picture-in-a-picture model that lets you watch 2 programs at once. Turn 1 cent into a full week's rent. Right now, during Rent-A-Center's Magic Penny Days.
Need a Philadelphia lawyer to help you through today's complex world of finance? Actually, all you need are my money reports. Hi, I'm Steve Crowley. For the past 5 years on Newswatch 40, I've been helping folks in Greater Springfield sort out all kinds of money matters, from income and taxes to investments and savings. When it comes to money, you name it, I'll be covering it. To keep up to date on the world of finance, keep watching my money reports each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on Newswatch 40 at 5:30.
If your car's engine were to stop, you probably know what to do to get it started again. The sad fact is, more people know how to jumpstart a car than know how to save a life. Learn how to jumpstart a life. Learn Red Cross CPR.
A shot, and of course our champion Jim Orlandi will take the first run at it. He's on lane 14 and a little bit too full on the 4-pin to have any chance at the 10. Now our runner-up Bob Brouillette will cross it over to lane 13 and take a run at the old 6-7. Taking his time. Boy, he put together a good final game after having his difficulties early, and he's trying to cut it a little bit too fine, Bob Brouillette was, but I'll tell you, all things being equal, Bob came back from what were some real difficulties in the first and the second game with that lob line, and he's just now making his way over. Bob, good run at that. It's tough. You got to cut that awful fine to make it, but we do want to thank you very much for competing on the show. We are going to hand over the prize money, which reflects not only your $100 share for the money, but $25 for 3 consecutive marks. And before you get away from us, got to ask you, after you got the ball down, things started to come together for you a little bit.
A little bit better. You know, I got what I deserved. Of course, Jim's a tough competitor, and he came through good. And like I said, I got what I deserved, so.
Okay, Bob, well, thanks very much for being on the show. We appreciate your participation. Hope to see you again real soon. Okay. Bob Brouillette did a nice job after you got the ball down in time for the lob line. That gave you a little bit of leeway, a little bit of a cushion to get some things done, and I know that you weren't really lighting it up yourself until that third game, so that helped you, obviously.
You're right. I was struggling out there today, and I was lucky Bobby was having an off day.
Okay, well, you didn't have an off day in that third and final game. You're really putting a stranglehold on that black and white television as if you need another one. You're going to have to build an addition to the house to get yourself more rooms for a TV. But, Jim, here's your prize money, which reflects not only the $200 for first place, but 4 marks for $50 more after that. Also have some hardware to give away here, which means, of course, that you'll be back for week number 3. Jim, thanks very much for participating. As always, a great third game.
Thank you.
Really racking up those pins. That's all the time we have for this edition. So for now, what's the word? Let's go bowling. We'll see you next week. Okay, thanks, sir.